Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Here we are today. I wanted to start off in a fun way, but hesitated since Axel, you always joke around between recordings. This is the new format where Axel and I give a bit of input on current topics about extremism, politics, overlap, everything related to our old environment. Axel, thanks for your time. Good to see you again.
My pleasure. It's an important topic.
Yes, that's why, even if we have to joke along the way, that's part of who we are. We take things lightly because we're used to hate. And Dunja Hayali has had an incredible fate. She's also taking a break from being online since the internet can be incredibly destructive and affect people. I got this message. You kind of missed the point with Dunja Hayali, right? And it kind of passed you by, right? Am I?
Am I being honest? I brought that up too. I had to Google it, and once I got the overview, I thought, wow, that's intense. Maybe it was actually good not to have noticed anything about it, because it's just something that makes you shake your head. It really just makes you shake your head, right?
Axel, you say it's something that makes you shake your head. I heard Dunja Hayali was attacked and there was a shitstorm. I wondered, what's happening? Yeah, and then you go in, type it into Google or ChatGPT and check, okay, what is the problem? What's going on? I read the statements and thought, okay, people are really into that. But Dunja Hayali, a person who polarizes, who clearly takes a stand against right-wing extremism, against anti-Semitism, is already a very charged person because of that. Right? And then you're just waiting for a statement like that where I thought, well, what are they jumping on? So what's this about? And I would read this here from Spiegel so that you also know what this is about and where the excitement comes from. So Spiegelkultur,
Read the book? I thought you wanted to save your voice.
Axel, please, 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 my dear friend Axel, I don't have to treat yourself. Very unprofessional. This channel and stream don't acknowledge each other or use scripts. Very unprofessional, Axel, very unprofessional. That's how...
It can't go on like this either, Philip Schlaffer. It just can't go on like this. But now, getting serious, I'll read you some hate. Host after Kirk on moderation, Dunja Hayali takes an online break after a shitstorm. Due to her moderate stance on the murder of far-right United States activist Charlie Kirk, Dunja Hayali reportedly received many hate messages and death threats. Now, the Zweites Deutsches Fernsehen host is taking an online break. The Zweites Deutsches Fernsehen journalist Dunja Hayali has announced that she will temporarily withdraw from social networks for reasons. Taking a few days off, she writes in a photographed handwritten message on her Instagram profile. She thanks people for the decent critical comments. Hayali captions that freedom of speech has limits. A small excerpt from the last few days. Following the handwritten break message, the short video shows screenshots of hate comments. It says things like, we will see you hanged, or I wish you death. Some of the comments include the first and last names of the people posting them, although it's unclear whether the names are real. Some address Hayali informally, others use the formal form. One commenter says, I hope you get shot in front of your family. This woman is 1,000 times more malicious and worse than Joseph Goebbels. Another...
Wait a minute. Wait, Axel, I'm sorry to interrupt. Hey, that's super unprofessional. Guys, you might be thinking now, okay, what did this woman do? So what did she say? That she's worse than Goebbels? That she should be shot in front of her family? That she should be branded, whipped, tarred, and feathered? And for the next ones, for those who need to be locked away longer than uranium stays radioactive, not just nuclear waste. So be prepared for what's about to happen here. Be prepared that people here are going to freak out like this. I have to say it this way because even Axel asked during the research, what did she just say?
I was really surprised and thought, what did she just say? I don't know. Like legalizing pedophilia or executing the entire AfD, I have no idea. What leads to such outbursts? What makes people wish death upon that woman? Yeah, that people call her 1,000 times worse than Joseph Goebbels. Yeah, but you can look forward to it. If you haven't read it yourself yet, I'll keep reading. Hayali connects with Hate Aid, an organization supporting digital violence victims and promoting online human rights. There is a right to free opinion, but not to hate, it says in their profile. Where does the hate come from? This was preceded by a moderation by Hayali on the Zweites Deutsches Fernsehens Heute journal the day after the murder of the far-right United States activist Charlie Kirk. She had described Kirk as an extreme and highly controversial influencer and a radical religious conspiracy theorist whose events had been extremely popular. Yes, basically, that's exactly what we said the day after Charlie Kirk. We also said that a radical with extreme positions, a Christian fundamentalist, a follower of conspiracy theories, which, yes, is exactly in line with the facts, which is not meant to disparage anyone, but is actually, yes, an objective summary. That describes what Charlie Kirk was, and according to his own self-perception, what he wanted to be. But okay, Hayali stated facts. Although Hayali stated facts, she was accused of being disrespectful even with the second statement. The fact that there are now groups celebrating his death cannot be justified by anything, not even by his often appalling racist, sexist, xenophobic, and misanthropic statements. That's not wrong. In books, a podcast, television appearances on TikTok and Instagram, he denied climate change, incited hatred against trans people, promoted the conservative family model, and also advocated for the right to bear arms. Right-wing accounts took clips with Hayali's statements out of context and spread them on social media. Hayali was accused of insulting Kirk and downplaying his murder. Zweites deutsches Fernsehen journalist Hayali welcomed well-founded criticism on Instagram. She said that if someone thinks she is not doing her job well, they can express that, but not in this way. Dunja Hayali has faced hate and incitement before. While covering protests by coronavirus deniers during the pandemic, she stopped filming for safety reasons. Later, she was spat on and called the vaccine Nazi. In 2018, she won the Federal Constitutional Court Award for fighting racism. She also took a stand on feminism. Yes, that was the article, and now we've heard here what she actually said. She made it clear that there is absolutely no justification for his murder. She did not blame him. She simply expressed her opinion about the statements that Kirk made. One could have argued about that. Maybe one could have said, well, considering this death, it might have been a bit harsh to classify it like that. All of it would have been acceptable under freedom of speech. But now to freak out because of this and fall for the fake news garbage spreaders in the right-wing troll networks again. They spread false narratives taken out of context, accusing Dunja Hayali of something she neither said nor meant. In fact, something she even explicitly ruled out with her own statement. That there is absolutely no justification under any circumstances for the murder of Charlie Kirk, that's really a nasty move. And you can also see how stupid, how brazen, and how easily manipulated all those segments of the population are who hang around in these networks. How uninhibited and dehumanized these so-called humanitarians are, advocating an honorable remembrance of Charlie Kirk while wishing death on a woman, just because she disagrees with them.
Comparing her to Joseph Goebbels or saying she's much worse, some people online are really lost. Well, I can say that. You can also discuss it. Yeah, do you have to say that when someone dies? Yeah, he had extreme views, but that's how it was. Charlie Kirk stood for extreme views, for radical positions. That was also his business model. That was his work. Yeah, and the fact that he was fundamentally religious, that's no secret. That was part of his DNA. Yes?
Ultimately, you can debate whether it's a radically traditional view of family or radical gun ownership.
That's not what those people are about at all. Exactly.
That's what I would say, since people mention it all the time now. So now, just because he had conservative values, he's considered extreme. There you go again with the left-green filthy media? No. This is about very radical, very extreme statements that Charlie Kirk made deliberately to trigger and polarize. As you correctly said, that was his business model. Yes, and you really have to listen closely here. This isn't about someone representing traditional values, but about someone taking radical and sometimes extreme positions.
Oh, you too. I'm just showing a picture of you and Dunja Hayali from Zweites deutsches Fernsehen Morning. Magazine, Morning Magazine. You met her? Maybe 2 or 3 sentences about that.
Really great, likable woman, very thoughtful. So anything but an agitator or a demagogue, but really someone who stands up for the protection of democracy with genuine interest for values like equality and takes a stand against racism. So really, really great woman. I can't say it any other way. Thank you very much.
So, I also had the chance to meet Dunja Hayali in a live format. I got to do that too. Here you can see a picture of it as well. Oh, Axel gets to see it now. I got to know her really well with her dog. It was very personal, very private afterwards. No airs, nothing like that. I've met a lot of people in the media industry. She's among the top three I've ever met. In terms of how likable she was, how she interacted with the team, with me. Like Axel, I can say it, she's not someone who puts on an act. I was treated absolutely great, even considering my past. She believed in my change and supported it. So thanks again for that. That's why, once again, I want to express my full solidarity. Is the internet often unreliable? I also want to show you what you have to endure there. Things Axel and I never faced. This woman, of course, has a much bigger reach and is clearly much more prominent and famous. Of course, she rubs a lot more people the wrong way. She has a pinned post at the top with Margot Friedlander, I see, right? Is that correct? And here it starts as well. You can also see here what's happening with Dunja. So, guys,
I just want to quickly show and say, what is this? This is part of our job. And if someone thinks I'm not doing it well, fair enough. Everyone can have their own opinion. Of course, you can express that opinion, but not like this. And not like this either. And not like that either. I'm always amazed when people condemn violence, but then threaten others with it. It still doesn't go together, but be happy with it. Good night.
you can already see how bad it is and what it does to someone. Don't forget that, guys. It's not just 3 comments that come in. I bet there are thousands. There are DMs. There are message requests. Then people comment everywhere, and if you have a Google Ads alert for your own name or something like that, what do you think is going on? You must handle that first. These people also shop, eat out, and take walks. No matter how supportive your family and friends are, you're still alone with these thoughts, insults, threats, and defamations. People criticize your sexuality and appearance. What did I often get? Hey, you fat pig, stand up straight, come here, let's fight. Look at you, look at your thin hair, look at your big nose. That's what was said to me, that's what I get. Sometimes I just sit and think, wow, guys, really? I always say, whether you're an extremist or a criminal, I'd help you if you want out, and I hope you find a better life without police, crime, or extremism. And I don't even want to know what this woman has to endure. And
Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen 2020. Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen 2020. Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen.
Subtitling zweites deutsches Fernsehen 2020. Subtitling.
Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen 2020. Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen.
Subtitling by
Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen. Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen 2020.
Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen 2020. Subtitling bei zweites deutsches Fernsehen. We're going to stop now. Axel, thank you very much for your time and your input. And as always, I remain with an ahoy from the coast.